Have you ever thought that the world at Tevat feels so vast, yet so empty anytime you're done with a region? Well, Genshin has a problem with open world exploration where we generally don't get to have anything else meaningful to do in a completed region. From Mondstadt to Inazuma, despite the quality of these regions' breathtaking visuals and gameplay depth, they could only hold players enjoying the regions for so long until they start to get bored. One notable solution Hoyoverse seems to have tried to make is to modify a permanent region into something new, specifically in Konomiya, as a wide area where in-game events take place, turning the event alone into a new type of exploration activity for players and making the region fresh again. Sure, the event wasn't perfect because it ended too quickly for most of us, but we can sometimes expect that Hoyoverse take their notes of these shortcomings and implement new changes eventually. What concerns me right now, however, is whether the Chasm or any future permanent maps are going to have that same treatment or not. The sad news is that we won't have any answer to that unless Hoyoverse themselves address it, whenever it is. What I myself want to address though is about the worst case scenario. What if the Chasm is going to be something that decays and becomes empty after we explore through it? What if we get bored like we used to with all other regions we completed? That's a pretty sad thing to see considering all hype the Chasm received since the early days of Genshin. I mean, people literally were waiting for Chasm to show something. Either it be endgame or a new element along with it. I don't know, something. So now that we are aware of this problem that Genshin is having, I think what we can do right now is just understand our own behaviors when playing the game. It is time to stop expecting Genshin to offer you hours of gameplay when a new version with promising content even arrives. Because, now this is just an example, the next thing you know, you might just reach 100% on the Chasm because you played for around 12 hours non-stop without taking it all in, without reading the small but intriguing stories the game has to tell through the books they hid across the map, or examining the charm and hidden details that the terrains inside of the Chasm offer. I love Genshin Impact's exploration, but as much as I want the game to improve and want Hoyoverse to start making better decisions, I also need to try and do something for myself, and that is adapt. Yes, trying to adapt in a game does sound like the game looks really bad in design, but we're still doing ourselves a favor here. Controlling ourselves in gacha games is not even an uncommon thing as far as I'm concerned. My point here is that when the day the Chasm goes live or when any other major content is released in the future, I want all of us here to just focus on ourselves as travelers. Enjoy the game at as steadiest pace as possible, every version, without people intervening with the moments you are in. Only when you're stuck in your gameplay, like when you're trying to take on puzzles, is where looking for other players' help will mean much more to you and the game. So, walk your journey for the sake of satisfaction and not completion. Just as Rex Lapis would say, every journey has its final day. Don't rush. But anyways, I'm really excited to see Chasm and all its glory. I think Chasm is going to be beautiful, even though it's probably going to take place underground. I would love to see how the lighting works in there. I mean, we are going to have some sort of flashlight mechanics there, but who knows, maybe we'll find something else there, especially when the Archon quest is going to come along with the Chasm release. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and see you next time.